Let's talk about Trumpets of the Teruah. In the first day, in the 7th month, we are commanded to have a holy convocation, a festival. One unique thing about this festival is the Torah does not describe it very thoroughly. The commands regarding it are very brief. And so naturally, we have been inclined to fill in the blanks. And some of this filling in the blanks may be based upon what it says in the Torah, or it may not be at all. Now, one example of this might be with Rosh Hashanah. This observance is probably not even the same festival at all, for that matter. It's probably a foreign festival that's been brought in. It is not according to the commands. But there are some other observances that have been done that may or may not be according to the commands. Let's look at how the Torah describes this observance. Numbers 29:1. And in the 7th month, in 1 month, hallowed calling it shall be to you. All work of service you shall not do. Day of blast it shall be to you. So in the 7th month, on the first day, there is to be a hallowed calling, a holy meeting. We are commanded to not do any work of service. And it is to be a day of blast. This is literally Yom Teruah, day of blast. And this blast refers to a particular blowing of a horn or trumpet, as we will see. Also, Leviticus 23:24-25 says, Word to sons of Israel to say, in the 7th month, in 1 month, it shall be to you cessation, memorial of blast, hallowed calling. All work of service you shall not do, and you shall cause to near fire offering to Yahuwah. We see this observance is to be a cessation, a day of ceasing, and it is to be a memorial of blast. Blast once again being Teruah. It is a hallowed calling, a holy meeting. We are commanded to not do any work of service, and there are particular offerings commanded for this day as well. On this day, we are commanded to not do any work of service. And we are also commanded to have it as a day of blasting, as a memorial of blasting. But what is this teruah, this blast? What does it mean? How are we supposed to observe it? One way it has been observed is by people going out, taking their shofars, their ram's horns, and blowing them on this day. Is that what is intended by the command, though? I want to offer an alternative possibility. Let's look at Numbers 10 to begin with. In Numbers 10, it gives commands regarding the silver trumpets. Starting in verse 2 and 8. Do to you 2 trumpets of silver, and sons of Aaron, the priests, shall blow in trumpets. So with regard to these silver trumpets, the sons of Aaron are the ones that are blowing them. And we see in verse 5, and you shall blow blast, and the camps shall journey, one's camping toward east. Amidst the commandments regarding these silver trumpets and their use, we have reference to Teruah. Now, it's not in reference to the day, but we do see use of the word here. It says, you shall blow blast, Teruah. In verse 10 it says, and in day of your brightening, and in your meetings, and in heads of your months, and you shall blow in trumpets. On your ascents, and on slaughters of your pieces, and they shall be to you to memorial, before your Elohim. I am Yahuwah. So this verse commands that the sons of Aaron are blowing the silver trumpets, and it says they are doing them in your meetings, and in heads of your months. And that the act of doing them, it says, they shall be to you to memorial before your Elohim. Something I want to point out regarding Yom Teruah is that it falls on the first day of the 7th month, as we saw. This is the head of the month, the new moon. It's the first day of the month. And it is also a meeting. It is a hallowed calling. And it says that their blowing of these trumpets, it says, they shall be to you to memorial. Just as we saw, there is to be a memorial of blast on Yom Teruah. And we also see an interesting way that these silver trumpets are described in Numbers 31:6. And Moses sent them, and Phinehas, son of Eleazar, the priest, and trumpets of the blast in his hand, trumpets of the Teruah. So how is Yom Teruah commanded to be observed? We saw that in Numbers 10, the sons of Aaron are commanded to blow these silver trumpets on that day already. They are commanded to do it because it is the first day of the 7th month, and they are commanded to blow them on every beginning of the month, every new moon. And so they are blowing them already for that reason. And they are also commanded to blow them on the meetings. And so the day of Yom Teruah is also a meeting. It is a holy convocation, a hallowed calling. So they are already commanded to be blowing them on that day for 2 reasons. And this blowing of these trumpets in Numbers 10 is described as a memorial. And we saw that Leviticus 23, in describing this hallowed calling, it says there is to be a memorial of blasting. So we already know that the sons of Aaron are commanded to be blowing these trumpets on this day, likely multiple times for multiple reasons. And we know this is to be a day of blasting, a day of Teruah. And we also know that these same silver trumpets are referred to as trumpets of the Teruah. Thanks for watching. Feel free to check out some of my other videos about other Torah issues, and be sure that you stay in touch so we can continue this discussion. Thanks for watching. Remember the commands. Shalom.